Anything is possible. You can remove all obstacles. Anything is possible. Together we are unstoppable.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wednesday Wisdom series on the Self Investment Academy podcast. So by my voice, you guys can probably tell it sounds a little clogged and a little bit stuffy. That's because I've been sick the last couple of days, but I'm still going to get through this podcast, so let's get straight to it. Today's topic is start competing in life. So what do we always hear? We want everyone to be winners, and it doesn't matter about competing to win. Well, when does it matter? When does it matter about competing? When it's going to cost putting food on your table? Is that when it's going to matter? Or is it going to matter when it's either the guy next to you or in the cubicle who's going to keep his or her job? Then does it matter about competing? Yeah, it comes down to those situations for people to actually start competing in life, when it's either you or the person beside you either going to lose their job or can't put the food on their table. And you should be competing every single day. Then it's the time to start competing. People are afraid to compete for the fear of losing, and that's pathetic. Or the fear of looking like you're trying too hard. What's so bad about trying too hard? What's so bad about wanting to be the best you? And that's what it comes down to. You have to compete to be the best you. Do you want to die with regret that you didn't compete your hardest? Competing is what's going to separate you from the average. Most people don't want to compete, or they say they are competing, but they actually aren't. They're just going through step by step. They don't care about not being the best, and that's what's going to separate you from the average. So how pathetic is it that we're teaching our children not to try and win now? I hear these stories on the news that, there's no more first place medals. It's about participation. That is complete bullshit. How are they not going to learn about winning and losing? How are they, when they get older, are they going to know when they lose at something? Are they going to have a mental breakdown because they didn't win? Because they weren't taught that when they were at a younger age? That is the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. We should be teaching the youth to compete their hardest. And if they don't win, explain to them why they didn't win and how they can improve. That's the only way you're going to get better at something. And when we're at that age, at a younger age, that's when we learn about life. Life isn't easy. Life isn't going to be always about winning and everyone as a group is going to be a winner. Good job on you. You participated. That's not how life works. Life's going to tear you up. It's going to spit you out. And if you don't learn from your mistakes, you're just going to keep failing and failing and failing. And all this participation bullshit about everyone participated, so everyone gets a medal. That's not how it is in the real world. When you're in a business atmosphere, is everyone getting the same amount of salary? No, there's positions. There's manager position, there's the CEO, there's all these different positions. And that's what it all comes down to, is they competed with their peers to get to those positions. So let's get to a personal story of mine. Every time me and my friends play basketball, it was a war. We used to rip each other's necks out. If you did not know us and saw us playing, you would think we were some messed up people. It got so bad that people wouldn't talk to each other for a few hours after the game. But after that amount of period, we all were best friends again. That's just how it is. That's how things are. You have to want to compete. We used to fight, swear, at the point of almost throwing punches with each other. And one thing I can guarantee, that competitive fighting and war between us is what pushed me into getting to a college level of basketball. Because when I saw another competitor out there on the basketball court, I wanted to kick their ass. I wanted to be better than them. And I competed with them every single day. My first college basketball practice, I wanted to be the fastest player on the court, and I wanted to score the most points. I wanted to be the best defender on the court. And that's what got me from my position, from probably 12th man on my first practice, to being a starter by my first game. And that is in a 2-week period of showing my coach what I can do. And that means that I wanted to compete with every single person out there. And yeah, we all still love each other as friends. But when it comes down to that, we want the other person to be as successful as the whole group. We want everyone to be successful. But to be that success, we have to fight for it. We want them to earn it. And that's just a part of competing. One of the best things I ever learned in school or in university that has nothing to do with the course materials I ever taught, no curriculum of 1992 wars or anything, was my teacher in history class asked everyone to raise their hands that were in school that wanted to become a teacher. about 40 kids out of the 50 raised their hands. Now that's what, like 90%? And then he said 25 seats are available in the teaching program. And there's more of you in this class that are going for that teaching program, and that's just in this class, and that's not the entire campus. You are competing with everyone that raised their hands and more. And what are you going to do that separates yourself from each person who raised their hand? That struck me. That's truth. That's life. That there's only a certain amount of positions in the world, and you have to compete with other people that have the exact same wants as you. You want that job position? I can guarantee you there's probably another 1,000 people at least that want that exact same job. And it can be something small, it can be something big. And that's a big reality check that people don't realize, is that this world, there's a lot of jobs out there, but there's a lot of people that want those exact same jobs. Everyone wants these different things, but there's a lot other people that want the exact same things. And the sad reality is the world is a ruthless place. The guy beside you may be nice to your face, but when it comes down to them keeping their job or their house, they would step all over your throat. And that's just, as sad it is, that's the truth. That you have the close friends around you, you want them to be successful, but you still have to compete against them. You help each other, you grow together, but you're still competing with everyone around you. And you don't always need to compete with someone else, but you can compete with yourself. Compete by saying, I'm going to outwork myself from yesterday. Always compete with yourself. You did something good yesterday. Say you went to the gym and you bench press 225. Say I'm going to get 230 the next time I bench. And you're not always going to succeed, but compete. It's just that drive that you need to compete. And that's the only way you're going to be successful. All the successful people in the world are the ones that have competed in their entire life. They're always the ones that, no matter what. Michael Jordan, that's a great example, got cut from his high school basketball team. So what did he do? He competed, and he worked his ass off in the off season and made his high school team, then went to North Carolina, then the NBA, and now look what he is. He's an icon. That's with everyone. Everyone has to compete at some point in their life, and it's a choice of, are you going to compete enough, or are you going to just shake it off and say, hey, I want everyone to win. Have the mentality you want to be the best. By competing each and every day, you'll be a step closer to being the best. Now that's this week's podcast. I hope you guys liked the topic. And just remember, to be great, you must invest in yourself. I'll see you guys next Wednesday Wisdom on the Self Investment Academy podcast. Bye.